We have Tyler Rich on Pure Country at Lasso in Montreal. How are you?
I'm so good.
It's good to see you.
You too.
Always good to see you.
How
and
you doing?
I feel like I'm good. And I'm excited because I feel like you coming to play in Montreal is going to be extra special because you have collaborated with a pretty big star in Canada that is definitely very well known in Montreal.
Yeah, Marie-Mai.
Yeah.
We did our single Thinking We're in Love that came out end of last year-ish.
Yep.
And it just crazy. It hit top 5 here on pop radio in
So cool.
Quebec, which is crazy. I didn't really know what to expect when we did it. Last time when I saw you at Boots and Hearts, we were talking about the fact that I sang the song in French. And in
the studio.
In the studio,
Yes.
not live.
Not live.
But today is the first time.
You're going to sing the whole song French.
No, I'm not crazy.
Okay.
We're gonna sing the French version.
Oh, the French version.
Which is like when we did the song, and well, not even did it when it became a thing that it was gonna happen. And Marie-Mai hit me up and she's like, "Hey, so here's the deal. We got to sing this song 52% French." I was like, "Oh yeah, great. A duet's 50-50. So you do that. I'll do 2%."
She's like,
She's like, "Absolutely not. You got to sing the chorus. You got to do this whole thing." And so it took a long time. She came to Nashville. We did the song. It took about 8 hours or so in the studio. It turned out awesome, but I learned the whole thing phonetically, right? So I just learned if I read it on paper, nobody that speaks French would be able to read what I wrote because I just wrote it the way that I would say it in English.
Right.
Because the pronunciation and the letters in the French language are so different than ours. And so when I was trying to read it properly, I was saying I's when it was supposed to be U's, and it was crazy. So we just wrote it phonetically, and it worked really well. And so we came here in December, and we did a few media visits and whatnot, and did some talk shows, and it was the most terrifying moment of my entire life, and it was crazy. But we did it, and we're doing it again today.
That's awesome.
Well, not we. She's in Monaco, unfortunately.
Aww. I was going to say, is she going to pop up and surprise? But
I know.
Do you feel like doing stuff like that, because a lot of people would be tentative to do that in another language, but do you think taking yourself out of your comfort zone actually has made you maybe take some chances in other parts of your career after doing that?
I'm all about chances.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like anytime I am comfortable, I'm like, we gotta shake stuff
Spice it up.
We gotta shake it up. We gotta spice it up. Put some cayenne pepper in there. I felt like when I did this thing, Scott that runs our label, Scott Bruschetta, he said, we're all about breaking down walls into new fan bases and literal borders. And
Yes.
so singing in another language, I've always been a travel fan. I mean, my grandparents when I was a kid just enacted this part of my brain that was like, you need to travel, you need to understand other cultures, you need to visit them, you need to eat their food, you need to just learn about these other people because life is not just in California.
Right.
And so I started traveling at a very young age, and so when I got to sing this song in another language, like I said, it was terrifying, but it was top 3 probably coolest thing I've ever gotten to do. And then we did a talk show. I'm not even gonna try to say it. It's like Samana did Julie 4. I don't know, but it was like Jimmy Kimmel basically.
Yeah.
And we did it, and we got done, and we walked over, and we went on the couch, and we sat just like this, and there was an Olympic athlete, and there was an author and an actor and us, and the whole thing was in French. The audience, the host, everything. She just kept looking at me, Julia, and be like, "Tyler, how you doing?" And at that point, all I knew how to do was sing the song and say, "How you doing?" which was, "Ça va."
You're like, that's all I've got, guys. But I think that's so cool, and I feel like you're going to be welcomed with very open arms at Lasso, which is going to be really fun.
Yeah, when we sound checked it, we did the French version sound check this morning, and the crew guys, production guys on our stage, they were like kind of like head bopping around while we were doing our other couple songs. But when we did Thinking We're in Love, at first I thought they all kind of like turned to look at me because it was familiar. Maybe they heard it on the radio, but then when I started singing the French part, everybody, the tattooed metalheads, everybody, they all like stopped and they're like, "The hell is this?"
They're like, what is he doing right now?
I was like, same, bro. Same. I have no idea.
That's so cool. Yeah. Okay. As far as places that you've traveled, because you've obviously been to a lot of really cool spots, what's like number one best trip you've ever taken?
Oh, man. I love so many places for so many reasons, but I will say my number one trip was my first big trip abroad.
Okay.
One of my best friends, like my best friend, he was a foreign exchange student in high school from Germany to California. So my first big trip I took over to Europe was 4 weeks or so, and we did Germany, through the Netherlands, through Belgium, France, through the Alps to Italy, Czech Republic,
Wow.
Munich, all the way back up. It was crazy. And so that's the best trip ever.
That sounds incredible.
It was
uber jealous.
amazing. My bachelor party, 23 amazing friends flew to Budapest for 5 days with me.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty crazy.
That's a pretty epic bachelor party.
It was dangerous. We had a great time.
Yeah. I'm glad you made it back from that in one piece.
Same. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
You've been teasing a lot of new music online lately, which I feel like has to be a very exciting season for you, because every time an artist gets to kind of show their fan base what they've been working on, it's always a cool time. Is there a song that you're maybe most looking forward to being able to actually put out in the world?
So I've teased 2 very specific songs I wrote with your husband.
Yes, you did. One very opposite ones. One makes me want to bawl my eyes out, and the other one's like very inspiring. And
the inspiring one actually makes people, what I've found, at least my friends and family that know me, has also made them cry in a different way.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And so, we did that bus trip to Michigan, and we rode for 3 days. And it was one of my favorite trips I've ever had on the road. And we wrote Dogs Don't Die when my dog was still alive. This is Abby.
I didn't know you got that. Aw, sorry for bringing that up.
It was like 2 months ago. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Dogs, I just went through the same thing earlier this year and lost my French Bulldog Phoebe of like 14 years. And anyone who has pets knows that is like so hard. But what is cool for you is that music is such a like form of therapy, and like you can really let people, go through their healing journey with you, which is kind of incredible that when you're going through something like that, you can find that other people in the world are feeling what you felt too.
Everybody loves dogs.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And if they don't,
they suck.
You kind of suck, but it's fine. And that's why we wrote the song, because we knew that she was getting old. And we're like, I don't want to write a set. I cry about this every time we play it on stage. It's the worst. I don't cry when I'm.
It?
No, our set's too short to make people cry today.
It's like, oh no, don't make anyone cry today.
Our headlining sets, we do it. I only cry when I talk about it.
Yeah.
When we sing the song, I don't, which was the point of the song, because when we wrote it, Abby was like, she was getting there, but she was fine. She was old, 17, husky.
She was also just like a badass husky.
She was my mascot, She was my mascot. And so we wrote the song as a feel-good, happy song about dogs.
Yes.
Just what they leave with you.
Right.
And so it's awesome. But the other song, so I can stop crying, the other song that we wrote, it's called Give Up to Get It. And it's everything that just artists and people that travel for work and military and just anybody that's gone from their family to pursue their passion or pursue just a career to support their family, everything you give up to get that. And it was, like I said, and you said, 2 completely separate, different songs that just resonate with people like crazy.
And are your truth,
amazing.
too. Like, it shows 2 different sides of you of, like, what you are truly going through in your life. Yeah. And I think it's cool, too, to have a partner in Sabina, your beautiful wife, that gets that part of life, because being an artist, touring musician is hard and you're gone a lot, but to have someone who also has that type of lifestyle, never makes you feel guilty for the fact that you've got to go.
Yeah. And I felt like every relationship I ever had before Sabina was like, I don't know, fights 24/7 because I was gone, fights because my hand was on a meet and greet back too low, fights because I liked a picture, crazy nonstop. But like, you guys are the same thing, right? Different forms of entertainment. And when we found each other, we realized like, oh, we both understand it. We both get it. And the second verse is about that. Married my best friend. She understands when I'm everywhere but home. I trade date nights for the spotlight, you know, and it's, So your husband's awesome. And we wrote awesome songs together.
Guys did.
And I can't wait for you guys to all hear them.
I've been listening. I've played the clips of like a couple of them on my shows, and people are like, where
sweet.
can I get this? I'm like, it's not out.
Well, I just did this thing where I sent like 20 of my favorite songs I've written in the past 3 years. I sent it to like 80 friends of all different genres of music. And I said, hey, on this Google Forms anonymous thing, I just want you to pick your favorite 10. And then
Narrow
that's
it
the 10
down.
I'm going to send to the label and be like, hey, I love these. Like, let's go. And so Dogs Don't Die is already recorded. It's already coming out. But
Cool.
Give Up to Get It was the 4th most liked out of 20 songs.
That's awesome.
And so
Do we get to hear
there's
those
no
10
way it's not
favorite
coming
songs
out.
anytime soon?
It better be soon.
Okay, cool.
It's
So I'm
gotta
really
be
excited
soon.
for new music from you.
Yeah, same.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. So there'll be like a collection of songs coming?
I mean, we're 3 years since the first album. So
Yeah, I'm like, come on,
yeah, so
give the
it's-
people what they want.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Okay.
We've released a few in those 3 years,
Yeah.
but we're ready for the second project. For
So
sure.
are we.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
always
you.
so good to see you.
Great to
Tyler
see you.
Rich in Montreal at Lasso on Pure Country.